right next door to the Amberley Air Base and the famous Willowbank drag strip. This is Queensland Raceway, the venue for round 7 and the halfway mark of the Shell Championship Series. This is the Queensland Raceway layout, and it's a place in the past that has been a happy hunting ground for Russell Ingall. He took victory here with, of course, Larry Perkins in the Queensland 500. Some good places for passing. Round 7 of the championship. Great to have you with us, and some of those mighty moments, doesn't it just show you how much this place can bite? Lowndes on pole alongside teammate Mark Skaife. Russell Ingall and Mark Larkham on road 2. Longhurst and Craig Baird, his best effort of the year from road 3. Perkins and Radicic on the 4th. We get set to go racing in round 7 of the Shell Championship Series. The Red Barons on the front row, the race to the first corner, and it looks as though Lowndes got away smartly. Russell Ingall, a great start as well. He's managed to pull away from Mark Larkham as they head toward turn 1 for the first time. Who will give Skaife or Lowndes? Skaife tries to muscle past Lowndes, and it looks like he's gotten the upper hand.
They're going to go side by side up toward turn 2. Let's see what the... Oh, Cameron McLean, yeah.
Same corner, same as last year.
Oh, goodness me, he's managed to keep it off. Just gave the concrete a kiss on the other side, but that could have been much worse. That sand trap doing its job. Well, look at this battle between the Holden Racing Team duos. They thundered in the back straight for the first time.
Yeah, Ingall's going to do everything he can to try and get past split up the HIT cars on the first couple of laps.
Mark Skaife, I was going to say, Mark Skaife gets the jump on the pole position, man.
Big mover so far, Mark, seems to be Paul Radicic. He's come up a series of positions. Started out at grid position number 8. We'll check on his exact spot for you. He's up to 5th position, Paul Radicic. So he has stormed up. There he is there, in behind Mark Larkham, the second of the Fords. So the Rats on the attack here in Queensland.
Holden Racing Team steamroller continues out front. They're lapping in a 1:11.5, so mid-111s, considering the lap record set here last year by Garth Tander was an 11 neat. About half a second off the pace set last year. And that's very impressive speed, considering this new control tyre is supposed to be slower than last year's.
New fastest lap there for the defending Shell Series champion, Craig Lowndes.
It's going to be interesting to have a look around in the pit lane after and have a look, see whose left-hand rear tyres have got the worst pasting out of it. Because, oh, look at that, that's Faulkner and...
John Faulkner getting plenty of...
Crompton!
Crompton going for a run on the inside of the Asia Online machine. He might have got tagged by the cars behind him. Have a look at that on the replay.
I think he did.
Since 1996, there's been 50 races. If they win this race this weekend, they've won 30 of those 50 races.
That is a staggering statistic, isn't it?
60% winning ratio. They are just head and shoulders above anyone else in this field.
You see, what's this? Oh, Thomas Mazzera. You see, in qualifying and practice and that, you see the HRT cars, they come in, they make a change, they go out, they go quicker. They come in, they make another change, go out and go quicker. And they're really massively on the ball.
They're in a class of their own. If they can come to this track where all the Ford teams test and grind around here doing hundreds of laps, and they hose them in qualifying and in the race.
And it's a place, Mark, they traditionally haven't gone well at.
Yeah, they've really got their act together as this race wears on. But look at the gap between these two, this battle. Paul Radicic, Tony Longhurst and Garth Tander. This is the fight for 5th. The be clear and simple on-board camera.
Look at Tander, Mark. Tander having a run down the inside of Tony Longhurst, and he gets there. That's a great move by the 23-year-old.
Well, whatever they did, whatever change they did to the car,
it worked.
It's working, because this car is working very well now. Garth Tander digging deep, putting in the quick laps. 1:12.56, that puts him only 0.3 of a second slower than the Holden Racing Team that time around.
Oh, look at this. Look.
That's Lowndes. Lowndes down the inside of Mark Skaife. So Skaife possibly realising that he doesn't have the speed at the moment for some reason, or Lowndes getting a better run out of the final turn and onto the front straight. But Lowndes has now taken the lead. Skaife sits in second. Look at the enforcer closing all the time in the Castrol Commodore.
Well, quite often we've seen this. Mark Skaife has been a lot harder on his rear tyres than Craig Lowndes in a race situation. I wonder if now Skaife said, well, maybe my tyres aren't in good a shape as Craig's. He's let him through. Maximum attack as they come out over the ripple strips, up the back straight once again. 250 kilometres an hour on the approach, the bumpy approach now on the brakes. Ingall has a look on the outside. Skaife there, you can see.
Oh, well,
he
yes!
gets alongside, almost. The enforcer is back.
Now, Mike Imrie is just up ahead of these guys, so a little bit of lap traffic. This may have played right into Mark Skaife's hands, though, because he's gotten out of that corner quicker than the enforcer. Look at Russell diving so deep under brakes, but not enough as they work through this horseshoe part of the track.
No, he got squeezed.
Oh dear, Sarbrek, that will break Billy Woods' heart.
So Russell, that's the end of attacking. See him flashing his lights.
Look at Larkham too, Mark. He's right on the back of the enforcer.
This one's not over yet. So Craig Lowndes, pole position man, looking strong at Queensland Raceway.
Oh, Lowndes will take it out. The checkered flag at the ready.
I think Larkham is good by the look of it.
Lowndes has got it. Scape will get across for second, but look at this drag race.
Oh, no!
The
Larkham gets
third. Contact between Russell Ingall and Mike Emery. Goodness me.
Look at this.
Wow.
That could have been really seriously nasty. That was
collision between.
Oh, no! Look, it's Larry.
Oh,
wow!
That caught Larry by surprise. Yeah.
Well, it's not the sort of thing you expect to see park sideways.
Not at all.
I tell you what, you've got to hand it to all those guys. They did an amazing job there.
Contact between Russell Ingall and the Saab car, though. Goodness me.
That could have been really very, very nasty. You see the mark? Yeah, could have really very, very nasty because the marshal's post there, you see, the car. Oh, Brad Jones.
Everyone's reacting to it very late.
Well, they're just not the sort of thing you expect to see, Mark, is it? You know, something parked in the middle of the front straight.
Check out the grid now for you for the start of race 2. Craig Lowndes and Mark Scape on the front row once again. These are the finishing positions from race 1. Larkham and Ingall on row 2. Radicic, Tander, row 3. And Longhurst back on row 4. Who will it be, Lowndes or Scape this time around? Scape got the jump in race 1. We're away in race 2 in Queensland. Lowndes making the better of it. A great start by Russell Ingall once again. He gets plenty of power to the ground and stays with the Holden Racing team. Lowndes leads the way into turn 1. Scape in tow.
Yeah, good start by Holden Racing team once again as they flash down toward turn 2. Swing into Titan corner, head in the back straight for the first time. Scape.
Oh, very wide.
Sitting in behind his teammate Lowndes. Russell Ingall now up to 3rd position. As they head down the back straight once again, braking hard for Conacher corner.
For those of you that may have just joined us, Mike Emery is out for the rest of the afternoon's action courtesy of that crash, and Craig Baird has been a non-starter in this race. He's got clutch problems, we hear, and the team are working frantically to try and repair them. So dramas for the Pertec Ford. And another one not starting in this race is John Faulkner. Those electrical gremlins from race 1 continue, and he made it as far as the exit of pit lane.
Well, after that collision in race 1, Russell Ingall was in front of the stewards. A very long hearing. They actually had to adjourn the hearing until the conclusion of race 2, so we don't know what the outcome of that is yet. But after that collision with Mike Emery, look at this battle as they come down toward turn 6. Tony Longhurst up the inside of Garth Tander. Bumper to bumper. As they come out of here, a nice clean start.
Word from the pits we hear is that Craig Baird has now rejoined the field. So the Stone Brothers Racing team doing a terrific job to try and repair those clutch problems. Look at Stephen Johnson here battling away with Glenn Seaton. It's Stephen Richards.
Yeah, rotten luck for Stephen in race 1. That collision with Craig Baird. Look at this side by side as they come out of Titan corner down the back straight. Stephen Johnson on the inside.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pride to be having the guy who's the first Ford home. There's no doubt about that.
Look at Larry. He's well placed here as well. Johnson could get caught hanging out wide here. Larry goes very deep under brakes. We jump aboard. The Ford Livet in-car camera. Glenn Seaton showing you the way.
Going at the moment, Lowndes from Scaife, Ingall, Tander, Mark Larkham, Paul Radicic, Tony Longhurst, Jason Barguana. And this is the battle for 9th position with Glenn Seaton, Stephen Johnson, Larry Perkins, Stephen Richards, Greg Murphy in there. So a great battle here as they come up toward turn 6 once again.
Car 12, the Kiwi, Greg Murphy. Look at this in the background too. There is teammate in the second of the Kmart Commodores, Richards, and Ellery having a run down the inside of Will. Richards coming with him. Boy, oh boy.
Oh, look at that.
That's a crew cut in V8 Supercar racing. Short back and sides. Gets left behind the double-pronged attack. Poor Will. Gets to the outside now, the Kmart machine. Good move by Stephen Ellery. Hard under brakes over the bumps coming into turn 3. And that puts the Kmart machine up there. Look at this. Paul Wheel now under attack. We look at the back of the Kmart Commodore. Stephen Richards with Paul Wheel copying more heat now from Brad Jones in the Aussie Mail Ford.
There's the gap between Craig Lowndes, our race leader, lap 8 of 17. Back to teammate Mark Scaife in second place. Russell Ingall holds down third from Tander, Larkham, Radicic, Barguana, Seaton, Johnson and Perkins.
Have a look at this, Baz.
Oh, it's Forbes here.
I don't think Rodney's gone out there in sympathy. There was no contact.
I don't think so. I don't know what's there. Look at the left-hand. Well, I don't know. It's hard to see.
Maybe just a reaction. Saw Bow possibly in a bit of trouble and has overcooked it himself. Third place, Russell Ingall, the enforcer, and Tander hunting him down.
Total domination by HRT at the moment. It's almost out to 3 seconds now, the gap between race leader Craig Lowndes and Mark Skaife in second. Russell Ingall some 3.7 seconds behind Skaife. So position's fairly static at the front. There's our championship leader, who's really dropped off the back of his teammate. Lowndes is doing a masterful job here. Tyre management, race pace.
He really is brilliant at that, there's no doubt. He's so smooth and
always very, very good on tyre-sensitive tracks.
Bear in mind, Craig Lowndes was fourth coming into this round of the championship. 2 starts, 2 wins today for Craig Lowndes, and more valuable points in the bag for the defending champion. Skaife finishes second, Russell Ingall third, and Garth Tander a solid drive for fourth. And we are getting ready for the third race of the day. Lowndes and Skaife once again on the front row after 2 Quinellas today. Ingall and Garth Tander on row 2, Larkham and Radicic row 3. Bargs, a great recovery, will start on row 4 alongside Glenn Seaton. Listen to these awesome V8s. This is Queensland Raceway, the third and final race in round 7 of the championship. It's been a HRT domination again today. Lowndes gets the power down and rockets away. Skaife comes with him. A run to turn 1, but Lowndes has got it. Skaife tucks in behind. Look at Tander. Tander's come all the way around Russell Ingall.
that's going to be a long way around Russell there, I would say.
Now through turn 2. Tighten corner onto the back straight once again. Craig Lowndes doing what he's done all day. Leading off the start, sprinting away. Look at Mark Skaife though. He's got his hands and his mirrors full. Russell Ingall and Garth Tander try a run down the inside.
Look at Tander down the outside.
He's going right around the outside of Mark Skaife. He'll get hung out to dry here. Ingall under brakes. Now we've had one go wide. I think that's Stephen Richards has gone off there. So Richards recovers and gets back on the circuit, but Ingall is mixing it big time. And not afraid to argue, copped a $10,000 fine and lost 20 championship points following that altercation with Mike Imrie in race 1. And Russell fighting now in the third of the day.
Imrie also copped a suspended $1,000 fine, and which has been suspended for 3 races. He was declared an obstructionist by the CAMS officials. So he got his knuckles wrapped as well, but Russell will be much lighter in the pocket after today, 10 grand.
Jason Bargwanna now in 7th position, just holding out Tony Longhurst in the second of the Valvoline Cummins Commodores. This team found something in the morning warm-up here today that suddenly made these cars work. They had a great setup from last season that they thought would be just fantastic heading into round 7, but of course a lot of things have changed. The nature of this circuit, and of course the introduction of a new Bridgestone control. Bargwanna has gone unloaded by Tony Longhurst.
How hard was that?
Yeah, exactly.
Greg Murphy down the inside. Murphy seizes the opportunity. Oh, and he's run a little bit wide, deep under brakes. Stephen Johnson coming for the ride as well. So, a great battle going on here. Johnson has moved up a place. Longhurst has gone back too. And Murphy is the mover. Best of the Kiwis, 8th position at the moment. There's our man, middle of the track for the final time. Craig Lowndes, 25-year-old defending Shell Series champion, was lying in 4th place heading into this round, and this will do his championship bid no end of good.
Sure will. Important chance to close the gap. Has had some mechanical unreliability this year, which has cost him big time in important races, but this will be very important.
He brings it on to the front straight for the final time. Checkered flag being waved for Craig Lowndes. He takes victory.
Fantastic drive.
Indeed, it was a fantastic drive. 3 from 3 and a Holden Racing trifecta. Skaife gets home second, Ingall third, Tander fourth, and Larkham rounds out the 5. 7 rounds down, and we see the Holden Racing team on top again. Mark Skaife has increased his championship lead to a staggering 158 points from Glenn Seaton on 714. Garth Tander, though, courtesy of his effort here today, has narrowed the gap between himself and Seaton. Accommodation in the surrounding townships of Benalla and Wangaratta has reportedly dried up, and the reason, the V8 supercar drivers have gone bush. Yeah, he looked a little subdued there, but don't kid yourself, he was absolutely wrapped with that pole time. Now, as I mentioned, that is a new qualifying lap record. He eclipses the time set there by Jason Bargwanna last year in qualifying. Incidentally, the Russell Ingall lap record has stood since 1997. Couple of changes to the track. Well, the cars are on the circuit. This is round 8. The Shell Championship Series, race 1 of 3 today. Seaton and Tander on the front row. Greg Murphy and Neil Crompton on row 2. Skaife and Lowndes, the Red Barons, on the 3rd row of the grid. Stephen Richards in the 2nd of the Kmart Racing Commodores alongside Todd Kelly on row 4. So we get set for a start in round 8 of the championship. A Ford and a Holden on the front row, a factory Ford. Their first pole of the year. Can Seaton make the most of it? Green light, we're away, or the light's out, I should say. Seaton makes a good start, but Tanner's got the better of it. Look at Murphy, straight down the inside as well. Murphy gets right down the inside. Seaton gets swallowed up. Tanner takes the lead.
Oh, Glenn Seaton, though, fights back as they come through the second part of the chicane. They're going to go side by side. Paul Morris. One of the Lansvale cars in there too. And the circuit is just waterlogged. At the moment, you get off line here and you really go for a swim. Glenn Seaton's in second behind Tander. Good start by the Holden Racing Team duo to jump up from third row of the grid.
Look at this fighting going on here. Russell Ingle and Larry Perkins. And one of the Holden Racing Team cars, I think you'll find that's Craig Lowndes. Boy, I avoid notes, in fact, Todd Kelly.
And Mark Scaife made a great start from the third row of the grid. Oh, we've got trouble here. It's one of the HRT cars. Oh, it's at Scaife.
It's Scaife. Mark Scaife has spun around. Perkins is in there as well.
Wow.
Rod Nash, that's the brand new Repco Commodore.
Boy, he didn't get far, did he? His first half a lap in the race since Bathurst.
Well, isn't it just incredible? People have been saying HRT have had such a dream run.
Oh, look at this. Oh, wow.
Well, a dream run Mark Scaife has had in 2000. He had to have a bad round somewhere. Well, here it is.
They'd have to bring the safety car. Oh, look at this. I don't think it'll steer that very well, Mark.
He's going to try and limp it back to the pits. He probably will be able to do it, Baz, if he just scrapes that along the road.
We're being told the safety car is on the circuit. The Walker safety car is in fact on the circuit, so Scaife endeavouring to limp back to the pits in the Holden Racing Team Commodore. He can kiss race 1 goodbye. Race 1 of round 8 of the Shell Championship Series. Our series leader sits pit side, and he'll be watching from pit lane in this one. Mark Scaife. Tander is away, and a handy lead already over Seaton and Crompton as they flash over the line. Defending Shell Series champion Craig Lowndes 4th, Greg Murphy 5th, Stephen Richards, his Kmart Racing teammate, sits in 6th position, and Jason Barguana, last year's winner, in 7th. Points are all important, so don't do anything desperate. He's trying to muscle his way past Crompton, just not successful at the moment.
Yep.
Oh, it's Faulkner. Oh, there's so much water on the infield of this place. I mean, once you get in there, you've got little or no chance of getting out.
Neil Crompton under enormous pressure from Craig Lowndes. He's been able to resist it so far. Hasn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah, talking about Craig Lowndes, Mark, there's a lady that's pretty poorly in bed at the moment. Her name's Jenny Sager, and Craig and Mark send you a big kiss and lots of love, and I hope you get better pretty quickly.
Look at Longhurst's car.
Oh, boy.
Flat tyre. He's going to try and limp it around to the pits now. What a terrible weekend for Ross and Jim Stone. Craig Lowndes, the sole remaining apart from the young Lions Commodore. Of course, look at this run down the inside. Have a look. Crompton driving right down the middle of the road. Does not give him a sniff. Look at this up the inside. Lowndes continues to attack. 1 corner remaining for Crompton. He's going to hold out our reigning champion.
Superb effort from Garth Tander, though. The young Western Australian Tander takes first blood in race 1 at Winton. Garth Tander, the man who, of course, won race 1, will lead the way in terms of this race. In race 2, Seaton alongside him on the front row, Crompton and Lowndes on row 2, Murphy and Bargs on 3, Radicic and Ingle on row 4. The revs rising in the V8s. We are away. Tander again like a slingshot. Look at Murphy too. A great start. This time a much better run from Glenn Seaton, though, as they head to the S's for the first time. Who's going to give it? It's Tander. Tander gives way sideways. That is Barguana through the S's for the first time. He hangs on to it. Look at Bargs copping it big time from Crompton.
Barguana sliding all over the place, left then right, but he managed to gather it up and hold on to it. The Valvoline Commodore stays in the battle. A great start in the FTR Falcon.
Keep an eye on Mark Scaife's progress there, as you can see the back end of the field coming through. Scaife, a miraculous effort by the Holden Racing Team in between races 1 and 2. They have completely rebuilt that front end of the car, which was so badly damaged. He is out there and now fighting his way through the field. Seaton storms underneath our trackside camera there.
That was quite an incredible job by Robbie Starr and George Smith from Deadcar. Did a lot of their panel work cutting away there with his angle grinder. Oh, just on the inside goes Paul Morris with Rodney Forbes, muscles his way up the inside and takes him as they swing up through onto Ford Credit Straight.
Lap 7 of 18. Oh, we've had a spinner there. That's Russell Ingle. Now that is on the exit of the S's there. And the enforcer was in 7th place at the time. And we hear from the pits there may have been some kind of contact with Paul Radicic. So how
how that happened, or we don't know, but we've certainly seen the outcome from Russell's point of view. Paul Wheel getting sideways on the exit there as well, and that's cost him Dougal McDougall through, and so too Cameron McConville.
Anthony Traxman in a wars.
Boy, oh boy. He had damage to the front bonnet in race 1. Luckily, no major suspension damage as a result of that. But he's now lost that front under tray on the AU Falcon. Now, Skate, for those of you keeping an eye or wanting to know how he's progressing, now up to 21st position after starting from pit lane. I guess, Larry, if you're starting from the back of the field, that's a pretty precarious job around a place like Winton. Craig Lowndes was in 3rd position. He has now dropped to 5th. Greg Murphy sits on the road in front of him, and we'll take a closer look at why, Barry.
Yeah, it's... Lowndes up the inside of Murphy, and then Barwana gets through on the pair of them. Whoa! Well up. That's got moved by Boggs, got a hand.
And Murph, look at this.
Yeah.
Murph got a good run out of that corner too. There's a drag race coming down pit straight. He got in front of the Kmart machine. So Craig Lowndes now having to fight for every point. Fastest lap, fastest man on the track this time around, Paul Radicic in the Shell Ford at 1:24.57. Said just a few moments ago.
This is the battle for 15th and 14th position, if you like. Mark Scaife right there chasing down Craig Baird. He got up to 15th position a couple of laps ago. They'll get the last lap board to go this time around, but he's not been able to move past Baird or Morris. Another point of interest for you as well.
Oh, Baird up the inside.
Baird.
That was good.
And Scaife goes with him. Scaife tries to, but Morris on the inside gives him racing room. Scaife side by side as they head down the end of that short little straight. Swing hard through Honda corner. Scaife picks up another position. So he's really on a charge. A fantastic job by the Holden racing team, honestly, to get this car back into racing condition in such a short period of time.
From the back of the grid, or from pit lane, if you like, up to 14th position. So Scaife doing incredibly well. Seaton, if you've just joined us, leads the way. There he is, and on course for victory. The 3rd race win for Ford this year, and the 1st for FTR. What a much-needed breakthrough that will be for them. Something has happened to his teammate Neil Crompton, though. He has dropped to 20th position in this race after starting out of grid 3, so I'm not sure what's happened to Cromley. But through the final set of turns, this battle rages between Lowndes and Greg Murphy. And well done. You can hear the team.
Buddy, great drive.
Seaton takes it out here at Winton Race 2.
Haven't seen a smile on this man's face for a long time.
Glenn Seaton on pole for this one, courtesy of his victory in the last race. Tanda, Bargwanna and Murphy row 2, Lowndes and Radicic row 3, Bowen Kelly on row 4. There's a long time between drinks for Seaton. The last one, his first race win since Simmons Plains in '98. Can he repeat it in the 3rd and final race of the day? This is round 8 of the championship. Away we go. Tanda makes a great start. Seaton, like a lightning bolt, off the line, has got the line towards turn 1 for the first time. Bargwanna coming for the run. Tanda tucks into 2nd place. So the Valvoline Cummins Commodores running 2nd and 3rd. Murphy into 4th place for the Bargwanna sideways.
Everyone holds their breath as they come through the first number of corners. They've sorted themselves out though. Bargwanna, oh look at that. Bit of a tag on the back from the Kmart Commodore. The Valvoline Cummins machine has a bit of loose bodywork flapping off the back. As this big thundering field of V8s, there's one in trouble, Stephen Ellery in the Super Cheap Autos Falcon. Well placed in race 2, but he goes right to the back of the grid. What a shame for the Queensland-based outfit.
Look at Seaton sideways on cold tyres as the field streams into Penrite corner for the first time. This infield section, now the Stratfield hairpin. Look at Tanda coming right into your living room once again, as he tried to do in the previous race.
It looks like there's been a bit of a touch. You see the smoke coming there from the rear left of Seaton's car.
Well, this is the battle for top honours, as we said before this race started. Whoever wins out of these two, Tanda and Seaton will take top spot on the podium this afternoon. And look at this, Paul Rose down the inside, wheel up in the air. Cameron McLean just drops the wheel off the edge of the track, gets it back on the racing line. So all sorts of action in the opening lap of Heat 3. So just giving Glenn a wake-up call as if he needed
look, Scaife
up the inside of Stephen Johnson. So he's continuing his charge toward the front. Glenn Seaton, though, is leading this one. Fastest lap so far, 1:31.71. And the FTR Falcon up the inside, Craig Baird. So Stephen Johnson getting hammered left, right and centre. Tony Long has 2 in the 2nd of the stage.
Someone's fun there, that's Stephen Richards.
Stephen, holy.
Boy, oh boy, Glenn Seaton's gone off too, apparently. Now, I wonder if that's Greg Murphy that's gone off down there. Boy, oh boy, our race leader. That's Greg Murphy. So Murphy's in trouble as well. Bauer's off, we're being told. This is mayhem at Winton.
Oh, what's going on here? Someone
now, Bargwanna, can you believe this? Last year's race winner.
Tander's off too. Goodness me.
Look at the wet on the track.
There must have been some oil or something dropped there. Everyone's come off down at that corner.
And Bargwanna, last year's race and round winner, has taken the lead. Jason spent the week painting his house, thought it was a nice, relaxing lead into this round at Winton. Oh! Lowndes!
Oh, look at it. But that was well held by Jace the Face. That was...
Lowndes, a big hit in the rear guard.
That was a good whack, wasn't it?
So now Valvoline car drops back to second. He's under attack now from Paul Radicic.
Good save, though, from Bargwanna.
Craig Lowndes has suffered a stop-go penalty for that incident with Jason Bargwanna. He's just rejoined the circuit moments ago, and that has put him well down the order. 25th position, in fact. Bargwanna could be on course to repeat what he did here last year in terms of at least a race victory. The kid is on fire. Bargwanna a 1:24.99. Radicic is quick through there, isn't he?
Yeah, really. And when he comes...
Fortunately for Bargwanna, the officials have deemed that flapping rear bodywork not to be too much of a danger. It would have been a tragedy if he got black flagged. Had to get it, come into the pits to get it removed. So he's hanging on by his fingernails under maximum pressure from 2 times World Cup Touring Car champion Paul Radicic.
Right, it's really...
Having a very competitive day at Winton.
Yeah, there's really nowhere else now, unless there's... I don't think there's any chance now.
Well, this is a much-needed motivational boost for Jason Bargwanna. His best effort so far this year, a 2nd place in the opening race at the GMC 400 and a 3rd at the Clipsal 500 in race 2. But Bargwanna at the moment, this is the last corner. Radicic, the last roll of the dice. Bargwanna heading for the start-finish line. And Bargwanna, a marvellous performance. He survives the battle at Winton. Bargwanna takes victory and the round. Radicic 2nd, Mark Skaife 3rd.
8 rounds down, and here is the revised championship score. Skaife still on top, but the gap has narrowed. 120 points now to Seaton. Garth Tander sitting in 3rd there. A couple of other movers for you. Greg Murphy now up into 6th position, and Russell Ingall has moved from 6th to 7th. It's the middle of winter, but you'd never know it. Oran Park and a huge crowd lapping up the sunshine and a marvellous atmosphere. Oran Park, a real driver's track, 2.6 k's in length. Some spectacular spots, particularly across the dog leg and over the bridge. Some magic and mighty moments here at Oran Park Raceway, and what will we add to that chapter at the conclusion of today's racing? Skaife and Tander on the front row for the first one, Lowndes and Seaton on row 2. Seaton, the main forward flyer, Murphy and Ingall from row 3, and Todd Kelly, that's a good performance, will line up alongside Longhurst. Getting set for action, will it be Tander or will it be Skaife? Who will get the jump for race 1 in round 9 of the Shell Championship Series? Lights go out, Skaife storms off the line, so too does Lowndes. Seaton got a great start, and Tander is trying to run with him. Look at Lowndes coming through, though. He's going to try and hold out Garth Tander. Tander's going to get hung out to dry here as they head in towards the left-hander and down towards the bridge.
Tander got a load of wheel spin there. He's initially got a decent bit of traction, then she lit up and just went backwards.
Big field jostles their way through Coca-Cola corner under the bridge.
Oh, look, good drive from Tander there.
Down around the go-kart section of the track for the first time. They're bumper to bumper, door to door.
Look at this!
Fight by Tander, tries to muscle on the outside of Craig Lowndes. They're going to go side by side up toward the bridge. Seaton wants a slice of the action too. One of the Kmart Commodores in there as well as they come under our bridge cam. Sweep down toward the S's for the first time.
Here's Brad Jones, our Carlton and United on board, showing you the way. Rodney Forbes in the Wins Commodore just in front of him.
Well, they made some changes to this car this morning, and in the warm-up, Brad said he was much happier. But look at this up the inside. Rodney Forbes got a beautiful run out of that corner. So good, in fact, he carries that speed, shot out there like a bullet. And now he carries a bit of speed down the main straight.
Look at this Crompton, this is going to be exciting.
Crompton just has a sniff up the inside too, gives him racing room. Oh, so close as they come down towards Coca-Cola.
Oh, dear me.
Baird just got right into the side.
And did he get Bargwanna? Did he, when Baird went back across the circuit, it looked ever so close.
I think Barg's actually got through on him, Baz. So I think Barg's...
Oh, round and round we go.
Locked up his back brakes again. I wonder if that was... might have had some dirt or something on his rear tyres. That car, as soon as he got on the brakes, the
just
back end came around. So Rodney Forbes taking number of drives through the countryside already.
Extra strong mints.
They're so well prepared, these cars. They came here, or they come here every year. Paul Wheel in trouble in the K&J Radiators Falcon. But HRT have certainly got a good base package to start with, and all they do is fine-tune it. And Scaife, who's brilliant behind the wheel, gets out there and does what he does best. He will take out race 1 at Oran Park in convincing fashion over teammate Craig Lowndes, and third is Garth Tander. This is a reverse grid for the top 6. Russell Ingall on pole alongside Greg Murphy, Glenn Seaton and Tander on row 2, Lowndes and Scaife row 3, Richards and Longhurst the 4th row. The calm before the storm, race 2 set to get underway in round 9 of the Shell Championship Series. Lights go out, Murphy and Ingall, a great start by the Murph. Look at Seaton storming off the line as well. Stephen Richards fighting now with the Holden Racing team as we work towards turn 1. Ingall takes the lead.
Look at Stephen Richards though, muscling down the inside. He splits the Holden Racing team duo. Great start by the second of the Kmart Commodores as this big field hustle through turn 2. Mark Scaife on the outside there as they head under the bridge for the first time. Under our track camera. And it's Russell Ingall in command from Greg Murphy with the Valvoline Commodore in third.
Garth Tander doing a terrific job. There he is, right in behind Murphy. There's Seaton. Oh! Stephen
Round
Richards.
goes Richards. Was that, sir? Look, did Scaife touch him there? I couldn't really see. It looked like he did.
Plenty of damage on the front of Scaife's car. Saw when he just went out of shot there, the left front fender very badly damaged.
Whoa, look at that. It's more than a touch, wasn't it?
So, Russell Ingall hasn't this sparked up the action. The Enforcers leading this one from Greg Murphy in second position.
Ingall had a word to him in between race 1 and this one, and he was saying that the power steering on his car actually went in the first race about midway through.
Oh,
look at this.
Mark Larkham.
Oh, he's hit someone somewhere.
Big hit up the back by Craig Baird in the Pertec Ford. So Larkham struggling here. His front spoiler is hanging down, scraping against the ground. So, look at this.
Dear me.
Fighting back on the inside of the Pertec Ford. He may have his nose dragging on the ground, but he wants to fight that great shot on the Network 10 cameras looking in the window of Craig Baird's cars. They go side by side across the bridge, down toward the S's. Fantastic stuff. Side by side, who's going to get in? Larkham has to back off a little bit. Big lock up there. Yeah.
Fantastic. It doesn't get any closer than that, does it?
Door handle to door handle. Let's have a look at the replay, Baz.
Dougal going for a gap that wasn't there.
God.
Yeah, I have to say there was no room there, that's for sure.
Is our race leader?
Ingall is just pulling away, no problem at all. 0.6 of a second he pulled out in that last lap.
3.1 seconds, the lead over Greg Murphy in second in the Kmart car. Those top 5 positions have remained the same. Glenn Seaton, though, I think he's closing the gap, is he?
Oh, that's Craig Lowndes. Lowndes has gone around.
Whoa.
Wow. Not sure what happened there.
Dear,
Now that looks like there's a deflated front left there. I wonder.
No, it looks like the steering arms. I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
All the Ford fans down there at the... Oh, look at this, up the inside goes Scaife on. Garth Tander wants to argue. They're going to go side by side under brakes. He just tucks the nose of the Valvoline car in there. Glenn Seaton has come out of nowhere, just chipping away at the lead here. He's got right on the back of this leading trio.
Look at Seaton having a look. Can't quite get close enough.
So, all of a sudden. So Russell Ingall still leading this one. Greg Murphy in second.
Working towards the end of this one. Glenn Seaton under all sorts of pressure from Longhurst. Out in front, it's Russell Ingall in the Castrol Commodore. On course for his second victory of the season. Look at Seaton riding the curbs in the Falcon. But the checkered flag is at the ready. Russell Ingall moves back into the winner's circle, and it's a welcome return too in the Castrol Commodore. The fans here at Oran Park cheer. They love the Enforcer. His second race win of the season. Second to Greg Murphy, hanging on only just from Mark Scaife. 0.3 of a second in it between those two. We'll check out the grid for you and see how they'll line up as the cars head out on their warm-up lap. Scaife on pole, Tander alongside him, Greg Murphy and Russell Ingall on row 2, Seaton Longhurst row 3, and Bargwanna and Perkins on the 4th.
And just a reminder, those top 6 positions have been figured out on aggregate of the results of race 1 and race 2, if you're a little bit confused at home.
Will Tander get the jump on Scaife in the last race of the day in round 9 of the Shell Series? Tander, a great start, like a bullet out of the gate. He has flown off the mark. We've got problems there.
Oh, look at that. That's
no.
Paul Morris and Mark Larkham. Oh, whoa, wow.
Geez, I hope he gets out of that in a hurry.
Yes, he's out of it.
Goodness me.
Well, they'll have to stop this.
Did you see the speed of that
impact?
impact?
Look, it's going over to
Paul
Paul
Morris
Morris's
gets out of the car okay here.
Whoa, that's going to go
no,
bang.
there's fuel everywhere. Larkham's out of the car. I hope Paul Morris got out.
Well, I don't think he did yet.
Oh, goodness me. I hope the fire marshals get on the scene there quickly.
I think
Here
Paul's
they are.
still in. Yeah, he's out.
Well,
yeah,
good work of the fire marshals. They're in there within seconds, but did you see that fuel trail?
And Paul's struggling there. He's not well.
Well, he got a major hit up the back.
Oh, yeah, and
Mark Larkham hit him at full tilt. Did you see the impact there?
Massive.
Look at the damage. Goodness gracious me.
Oran Park erupts in a frightening fireball, and this is the catalyst. Contact between Mark Larkham and Paul Morris. You can see Larkham trying to pull himself clear of the car, and then over comes one of the boys from Cat Racing to get him out of the way to prevent that car erupting any further. Paul Morris. Now this is frightening, this here, folks. We've got to reinforce he is okay. You'll watch Morris get himself out of the car running on pure adrenaline here. We believe he's been hit in the back by the fire extinguisher system that came adrift of that car and copped that huge hit in the back. The extinguisher, we believe, went flying into the seat. Both of the drivers are in the medical centre and suffering a little soreness. Now, we're going to have a full race restart here. Lights are off in the safety car. It's a rolling start, 15 laps in duration. The circuit is clear. The marshals have done a sensational job here. And Scaife will lead the way. The third and final race.
The reason they've gone for this rolling start, if you're wondering, look at all that dirt and garbage. There's fuel, there's cement dust, all sorts of stuff down there on the track. It wasn't considered fair to make cars start on that. So they've gone for a full rolling start. Scaife takes maximum advantage. Leaps through to the lead. Garth Tander in second position. Murphy up there. Ingle right up his bumper bar. There's Larry Perkins. Look at the battle damage on the back of that car.
Larry was so lucky not to get a bigger whack than that, wasn't he?
It was Perkins' stalled car that actually triggered that incident. Oh, Brad Jones!
Look at this, Brad Jones and Craig Baird.
Now, if you've just joined us, folks, we should reinforce because of that incident. This race has been reduced to 15 laps. It's a 15-lapper. Baird, look at that car smoking now. John Faulkner up in behind him in the Asia Online Commodore, and things pretty tightly bunched up at the front too. Scaife under siege from Garth Tander. Murphy under fire from Russell Ingle, the enforcer. Winner of race 2 here. Glenn Seaton is up there as well in the Ford, and so too is Tony Longhurst.
Craig Lowndes continues his charge through the pack. He started off right down the back of the grid. He's now up to 10th place. So he's been absolutely flying in the Mobil 1 Commodore. So the order at the moment: Scaife, Tander, Seaton, Bargwanna, Murphy, Longhurst, Faulkner, Larry Perkins. Here's the battle between Larry and Craig Lowndes. Perkins up in 8th, Lowndes in 9th, and Brad Jones in the Aussie Mail Ford. He finds himself in the top 10. Lowndes has a run down the outside of the veteran in the Castrol Commodore. Larry fighting hard though. He's not going to give in without a fight.
Now the over and under. Can Lowndes get back underneath him? Look at this here. There's almost a touch between those two. We're heading up towards the bridge. Larry plays defensive in the Castrol Commodore. Brad Jones tucked in behind him there.
And it's the last lap, so there's no way that Larry's going to let him play.
So we're on our way home, folks. Larry sideways again off the bridge. We saw him do that last year, didn't we?
A major save of the day, that was.
Here's Mark Scaife, folks. He's going to take out the round. He takes out race 3 as well. Well done to the Holden Racing team. Second to Garth Tander in this race. Glenn Seaton will get third. And Jason Bargwanna, what about that for a performance? His day started horribly. He's finished 4th in this one. Let's update the championship point score for you after 9 rounds. Mark Scaife was on top heading into this round, leading by 120 points. That gap has now increased to 136. 1,035 points for Scaife. Seaton in second place. The margin only narrow, though, between he and Tander. Craig Lowndes in 4th position there. A good effort also by Greg Murphy today. He's in 6th position, 661 points. Calder Park, a track with more than 3 decades of motor racing history, but these days it's probably best remembered as the place where Craig Lowndes had that massive rollover last season. Here is the Calder Park layout to the northwest of the Melbourne CBD, typified by that long main straight, 2.2 k's in length. Let's take a look at the grid for you. For race 1, Craig Lowndes on pole, a sensational time. It's around about 0.5 of a second outside the qualifying lap record set last year by Jason Bright. Larry Perkins, what about that? The first time he's been on the front row since Malalan 1997. His teammate Russell Ingall and Paul Radisich on row 2. Larkham and Skate, row 3. Seaton and Richards on row 4. Craig Lowndes and Larry Perkins. Who will get the jump? There's row 2. The Enforcer and the Rat side by side. Mark Larkham and our championship leader Mark Skate on the third row. Look at that, Lowndes launches off the line. Paul Radisich, a brilliant start. So too Russell Ingall. He gets around the boss as they work towards turn 1 for the first time.
Yeah, Perkins made a bit of a muck up at the start, and what happened, it seemed to go and then slow right up, so it's a bit of a struggle. Ingall on the inside there.
Look at Radisich muscling on the outside of the Shell 1840. Got a fantastic start off the second row. He threatened to do that. He's on the outside of the pack now as they swing out of turn 1.
Ingall
gets himself up into second position, and what a good start from Scaife. I think he's up into one of those 2 positions, third or fourth. I think it's fourth. No, he's in third. So he's leapfrogged Lowndes. Lowndes had a terrible start. Mark Scaife has jumped from 6th to 3rd in the space of half a lap.
Oh, look at this.
A little bit further back in the pack. This is Cameron McConville getting plenty of heat from Mick Donaher and Dougal McDougall up the inside of the Pepsi Commodore. Always see plenty of elbowing going on further back in the pack. They come over the rise down toward the back straight once again.
Oh,
no, what's happened there?
Oh, it's like some sort of mechanical failure.
What happened, Russ?
Jammed in gear.
All right, bring it in.
Now, this has happened before.
It
Don't
has.
forget Oran Park.
Yep.
The final race of the day. We've got a spin there. Bates and Rodney Forbes possibly coming into contact.
Now, I'm not sure what's going on with that. We've had a few funny sort of niggling problems with the Hollinger gearboxes this year, and particularly...
So uncharacteristic.
Yeah, Russell Ingall. That's the second time he's had a jam gearbox. It's very unlikely. These things are normally bulletproof, and this year, more than any season I can remember, we've have had a number of gearbox problems. But Radisich still hanging on in 5th position. He's still in a strong position in the championship. 77 points behind Craig Lowndes. Oh, no. What's happened here?
Romano.
Sounds like it's one big
Oh,
time.
dear me, look at that. That looks expensive motor-wise.
Oh!
Todd Kelly! Joan Bow.
Well, major collision.
That looked a bit, didn't it?
Down the end of the main straight, it looks like. We'll have a look at that on the replay in a moment, but big collision there. John Bow has been caught up in so many tangles. Yeah, it was down the end of the main straight. He is so frustrated this year by the amount of panel damage and the number of times he has been innocently turned around. I'm not sure if that was Kelly's fault in that instance, but John Bow has been caught up in so much carnage this year.
He's a panel beater's dream, isn't he?
Final lap for Paul Radisich. John Bow gathers it all up. Todd Kelly, though, is still stranded down there in the My Car Holden Young Lions machine.
On our way home here, folks, this is the last lap. Paul Radisich leading the way. Here's John Bow just getting around Rick Bates. He has dropped right back because of that altercation. There's the smouldering remains. Yeah.
There's smoke pouring out from under the bonnet of that car. I hope that fire marshals
get in there a bit lively, but it'll extinguish, otherwise it's going to get expensive.
Radisich just goes past that stricken car, and so does Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes. I've got to tell you, Radisich has really pulled out a nice handy lead on these two.
Outstanding performance, isn't it? This is a sign of things to come. Ford fans will be cheering at Mount Panorama this year. Shell team looking in fine form at Calder Park this afternoon.
A great morale boost for Dick Johnson, Dean Orr and all the Shell Helix racing team. The Rat is right on the money.
Listen, we've got a lot of noise at the test for the gearbox. I think it's about to destruct, so we need to check it out. But well done, everybody.
Well, there you go. So he's actually struggled to the line there. He thinks there's some sort of problem with the differential maybe, or the gearbox. So that's a great result for Paul Radisich, all things considered. He takes the race win from Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes. Well, this is the grid for race 2. Mark Larkham on pole, the comeback man. Garth Tander alongside him. Stephen Richards and Craig Lowndes on row 2. Don't forget they reversed the top 6 here. And Mark Scaife and Paul Radisich, our race 1 winner, as you can see, will start from position 6. Set to go for the reverse grid second race, round 10 of the Shell Championship Series. Will it be Tander? Will it be Larkham? Listen to the revs of the big V8 Supercars. Flames out the side of Tander's car. Tander takes off in race 2. He is away. A good start also by Stephen Richards. He's like a lightning bolt. Larkham will shut the door on him as they head towards turn 1 and makes it tough for Richards. Larkham leads the way. Richards has snuck up into second. Tander's hanging out wide, late under brakes from GT.
That's a big move from Tander. It's going to get stuck right out there. Oh, just about got through.
Paul Wheel going right out in the dust as he gets the power down, coming out of turn 1. Everyone leaning on each other. A very narrow strip of bitumen through here as they head up over the rise for the first time. Looks like a relatively clean start, but Mark Larkham finished 6th in Heat 1. He gets pole position for Heat 2, and he's using it to good advantage here as they thunder down the back straight for the first time.
Russell. I was just going to say, Engels enjoying himself way back there.
Great start by Stephen Richards in the Kmart Commodore. He leapt off that second row, forced his way up the inside. Now he finds himself in second position. He's got Garth Tander in third. The two Holden Racing Team Commodores running bumper to bumper. Then the shell forward of Paul Radisich.
Talk there about
Paul Morris.
Squeeze up the inside of the big Kev car. Oh, that was...
that was...
No one.
Now, these two, don't forget, are turning up for the upcoming endurance races. So in the Wins Commodore.
Wow.
Traddy was trying to follow him through. Got the door shut, paid the penalty.
Garth Tander there, sitting in third position at the moment in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. Gee, they come good on race day, those cars, don't they? They have some dramas sometimes in practice, but the boys work very hard, and it's now showing. And Garth, of course, look at this, as Craig Lowndes dives to the inside. He can't do it there. Keep in mind, too, with Glenn Seaton out of this one, and the gap between Seaton and Tander in the championship between second and third is pretty tight.
It's only 37 points.
John!
Hopefully he doesn't hit anything. He's got a wall right across the grass.
Oh, dear me.
Wow.
Playing the same approach that he took to the GMC 400 in Canberra, where he won that round. Strong showing there from the Kmart Racing Team. So Rich is looking good, and at the moment, Ford fans around the country would be rejoicing. Mark Larkham.
I mean, his heart rate went up then.
I was waiting for him to head off across the sea there. I thought he'd got him too deep.
Keep it together, keep it together. You've got one corner to go. Mark Larkham, the Queenslander, in the Mitre 10 Ford, is on course to give Ford their 5th victory of the season. His first ever in the Shell Championship Series. In the case of the space of 3 weeks, he goes from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs.
On that last lap, Les down the back there. Missed the apex by about 15 feet and ended up in the shed.
He would have been if he'd have lost it, wouldn't he?
He knows what he's done. Telling the boys the story. He knows how close that was.
A marvellous performance from Larkham. What a ripper it's going to be. We've seen 2 wins to Ford so far today, but consistency and aggregate on points puts Stephen Richards on pole for this one. Craig Lowndes alongside him on the front row. Paul Radisich and Mark Larkham on row 2. Mark Skaife, our championship leader, alongside Garth Tander. Then it's Ellery and Tony Longhurst. Been lucky with the weather here today. Some ominous clouds overhead, but there's been no rain. Will it be Lowndes or Stephen Richards who launches off the line in the third and final race of the day for round 10? Lowndes in big trouble. Richards out of there. Look at Larkham. He and Radisich are away. So too Tander and Skaife. That's a rotten start for Craig Lowndes.
God, disastrous start.
Terrible start by the reigning champ. He really bogged it down there. He's lost a lot of track position as they head down to turn 1. Stephen Richards, a brilliant job in the Kmart car. Paul Radisich up the inside of the Mitre 10 Ford. They're going to go side by side out of turn 1.
Yeah, he's in a good position for the next. Oh, that's Stephen Ellery.
Still battling position as they come up toward the hill the first time. Radisich has won out, though. He goes ahead of the Mitre 10 car as this big field sort themselves out. Alan Heath in trouble. Right at the back there in the Cooper's Falcon. Haven't we had some variety here this weekend? 2 Fords winning. This is the first time we've had 2 Fords winning 2 races at a round since Winton in 1998. It's been a long drought for the Blue Oval supporters, but they're fighting back here at Calder Park Raceway this afternoon.
They're so on board with Radisich. There's not a lot of room there, is there? Yeah, you see it puts him on the in perfect position for the next right-hander. There's no way that Larkham could fight it, really.
That's through turns 1 and 2 for the first time.
Tander positioned beautifully behind the Mitre 10 car, coming up the end of the back straight. Fast lap from Stephen Richards. It's a standing time too, so first flying lap across the line, he drops a 57.91. But these guys getting down to the assortment of their best 4 tyres for the final race. We can expect those times to slip up a little bit. Look at it, it's getting very dark and very gloomy at Calder Park Raceway. See the odd drop of rain.
Yeah, it did look like rain on that camera, didn't it? On the lens of that.
Keep an eye on that, but it's getting very dark.
Oh, yes, that's rain.
Well, I said at the top of the call we've been lucky, but the heavens maybe just starting to open up a little bit. Paul Radisich sitting in second place at the moment, and this rain, if it
comes down harder, could really change this race. Let's take a close look at a few incidents here on the Shell Helix replay, and that's the aftermath of probably looks like Larry.
Yeah, Larry. Oh, and that's where Stephen got his whack there, obviously, with something. Yeah, that was Larry, wasn't it?
Didn't see how the reaction started. There's the aftermath, though.
That was a fair old whack as well.
Big damage to the Optus Commodore. You can see him trying to limp back into the pits. It's a great battle here up at the front of the pack. Garth Tander defending hard in third position from this tremendous battle. Larkham in behind him, Scaife in there too. Longhurst in the Caltex Haviland Ford, Lowndes on the back of the Falcon. Murphy in 8th, Bargwanna in 9th. Ingle now climbs up into the top 10. So Russell Ingle continues to defend. It's been a rough old day for Russell. That gearbox problem in Heat 1 has cost him dearly. You cannot afford to have the slightest mechanical itch in this race. Larry Perkins up the inside as they break hard. Is there going to be contact between the two?
No. Oh, yes.
Bargwanna gives him racing room, but they're giving each other the elbow. Bargwanna's hanging on as they come up toward turn 2. Turn 3 over the hill, continuing to attack in the Valvoline Cummins machine, but Perkins got him. Let's have a look at that in the replay.
Yeah, Angle up the inside on the brakes.
This is one lap beforehand.
Yep, it's a nice tidy move. Larry had a sniff as well. He had to wait another lap before he got past the Valvoline Cummins machine. That put Ingle up to 9th, Bargwanna to 10th. And then Larry took Bargwanna, dropping him back to 11th place.
He said today too that it was important to just consolidate. That's exactly what he's done. Coming into this round, there was still 640 points up for grabs. Don't forget there's a couple of big double points endurance races coming up. The FAI 1000 not too far away, and the Queensland 500 is coming up as well. The first of the big enduros where co-drivers become a big factor, and Lowndes and Scaife, what a strong combination they are going to be for Holden Racing. You ride there with Lowndes, who'll be teaming up with Mark Scaife, unlike last year. But a fantastic performance from Stephen Richards. He takes the race victory, and thoroughly deserved as well. The round victory as well. A brilliant performance from him. Paul Radisich home second, Garth Tander third, and Larkham will finish fourth.
Well, it was odd, I guess, not to see Mark Scaife on the podium today, but despite that, he has managed to build on his championship lead here. Garth Tander, though, as you can see from the revised championship point score, moves up into second place, ahead now of Glenn Seaton. So a change of position there, and the man who was on top of things very early in the season climbing back up the ladder, but Scaife well on top and looking good for championship honours. Defending champion Craig Lowndes in 4th, Paul Radisich, who was on the podium today there in 5th position. We go back, Jason Bargwanna. So both Valvoline Cummins drivers are inside the top 10 in terms of the championship point score.
Welcome to the place and the race where championships can be made and broken. Wonderful Queensland weather and a big crowd keen to see this awesome field of driving talent on display. The man chasing Mark Scaife, of course, in this championship is Garth Tander. He's been quick for one lap, another 160 on top of that to contest the Queensland 500.
Let's take a look now at the grid. 38 starters in the Aussie Male 500. Garth Tander will lead the field away in the Valvoline Cummins Commodore. Russell Ingle alongside him. Longhurst will start the Caltex Haviland Ford. Radisich, the Shell Helix Ford. Then it's Scaife, Bow, Richards, Larkham, Seaton and Paul Wheel completing the top 10. A stoush between Holden and Ford. The Aussie Male 500 at Queensland Raceway. We're away. Garth Tander. Russell smokes them off the line in the Castrol Commodore, but Tander got the power to the ground, and he's away ahead of the Enforcer as they swing into turn 1 for the first time. The Rat has gotten around Tony Longhurst and slotted the Shell Helix Ford up to 3rd.
Everyone holds their breath as this big pack, 38 V8s in all, thunder through turn 1. Magnificent sight there, the big crowd at Queensland Raceway for the Aussie Male 500. They come out through turn 2 and thunder down the back straight for the first time. There's a second of the Holden Racing Team Commodores. Nathan Pretty and Todd Kelly a little bit further back in the pack. Hopefully everyone can get through cleanly.
So far, so good. It's
Garth Tander leads him out. Russell Ingle in second place. Look at that. Great sight there. Looks like it's a relatively clean start to the Aussie Male 500. It's going to be interesting to watch these first laps. Who is going to set the pace?
Stephen Ellery. Ellery's car sounds totally different to all the other Fords because he's got all the pipes. If you see on the left-hand side of the car, he's got all the pipes coming out.
It's got four pipes hanging out the left-hand side. Look at this.
Oh!
Donahue has come with Forbes, and Forbes is gone.
That could be
and Faulkner.
Could be our first safety car if he can't get out of the kitty litter. I think he's stuck there.
I'd say that's the end of that one.
He's giving it everything he's got to try and drive out. Faulkner's got clear. He didn't quite fall into the sand trap. Let's see if Forbes has been able to get his way out.
I don't think so. It looked like he...
Oh, he's still going.
He's still at it.
He's done it too.
Yeah, good move there.
Paul Radicic is a man on a mission. He's been hooked in here behind Glenn Seaton in the FTR Falcon for a number of laps now. Both running in the low 1 minute 12 second bracket, just like our race leader Tony Longhurst. So they're pushing very, very hard as they force their way through lap traffic. Tony Longhurst still leading this one. Garth Tander only half a second behind. This is the battle for 8th position. And Paul Radicic has done a remarkable job fighting back through the field here. Stephen Ellery is back in 13th. Oh, look how close it is here. He gets up the inside. Glenn Seaton gives him racing room, and Radicic takes another spot.
You've got to ask the question, how much longer can he keep this pace up? Radicic is really on the attack. Tander now with a quick one, a 1:11.69.
That's the fastest lap of the race. He just undercut Paul Radicic's quickest time, so it's coming down all the time. 1:11.69 on lap 45.
That's
so the
incredible.
pace, well, people were expecting to run in the mid-12s to 13s. This is an incredible pace here.
Stephen Ellery, who you're talking about before, Mark, has clawed his way up to 13th as well. So the super cheap auto Ford, we heard from him prior to the start of this race. He dropped back, don't forget, to 33rd position. He is now up into 13. That is a remarkable performance.
It's like he's threaded his way through the traffic with Radicic. There's our race leader, Tony Longhurst. What an incredible season he's having, particularly toward the end of this season. He's joined up with Stone Brothers at the beginning of the year. And the 43-year-old has had an outstanding run so far. 7th in the points. And this rival of David Bernard, his 23-year-old teammate, he even admits himself has lifted his game. He's pushing really, really hard. He's loving the competition within the team. And he's doing an outstanding job here, leading the Aussie Male 500.
Gee, it's been a long time between drinks in terms of endurance race victories for Tony Longhurst. Bathurst 88, you've got to cast your mind back to as we take a look on the Shell Helix replay. You're right with Paul Radicic. Look at Seaton there, and that's what cost him, I think.
Yeah.
He's gotten sideways, and Radicic has just launched through.
Under pressure. Mark Larkham in 2. The Mitre 10 Falcon is in pit lane. So they're all starting to come in. That was a critical time. Mark Larkham looks like he's staying in the car. Oh, hang on. What's going on here?
Yeah, something's happening here because Jeff Brabham is on standby. The boys are underneath the car looking all over it.
Oh, no, he's out. We heard that he was limping around, coming into the pits very slowly. Looks like a terminal problem here for the Mitre 10 Ford. Goodness me. Are they starting to fall? We've seen Brad Jones go out. Barry Jones, what's going on? Barry, what's going on?
I don't know. I'm just trying to see some of the guys. They all look a bit major disappointed at the moment. Gearbox problems, I think. Let's have a look in. Yeah, it's gear selector problems.
We've got a problem with the fuel here. It hasn't quite closed. There's fuel dripping out. Everybody, the fuel attendant can't stop it. Hopefully it doesn't hit the exhaust.
Well, it's a dry brake system. It's a vent bottle there. And it doesn't look like it's sealing. They've still got fuel coming out of there. Hopefully there won't be... Oh, so lucky. Everyone was holding their breath there, hoping we weren't going to get a repeat of the John Bowe disaster from last year. Here's our race leader, Tony Longhurst. Change over to David Bernard getting in. His baptism of fire in the Shell Championship Series. Walker pit stop clock tells the story. We'll keep an eye on this. Not sure if they're changing brake pads. Looks like they may be. But plenty of frenzied activity going down in pit lane. David Bernard, the 23-year-old, returning from competition in the United States to fulfill a multi-year contract with the Stone Brothers team. And this is his first shot in anger in the Shell Series. Outstanding in the V8 Lights Championship. Now his big chance. 31 seconds. That was better.
Nathan Pretty, who is in the second of the Holden Racing Team Commodores.
Oh, there's fuel coming out.
Something out of, yeah.
Now that's what I was talking about when the vent bottle valve or the infill valve for the dry brake system gets stuck. You can see that fuel mist pouring out the back of that 17 car. If that continues, the officials will bring them in It's considered pretty dangerous when you've got fuel. Here it is, car one. Mark Scaife and Paul Radisich coming in as well.
This could be quite a crucial stop for Paul Radisich when you consider that Stephen Johnson is out there cruising around with that problem. So we could have a real pit stop pandemonium scenario for the Dick Johnson racing team. McLean gets in and straps on the belts, the former Privateers champion. Radisich is already out. Lowndes getting strapped into the #1 Mobile Holden Racing Team Commodore. A pad change going on here as well. Scaife is out after a brilliant stint.
Saw the team practicing this yesterday. They went over and over and over. This team works very hard. They're like military grade in terms of their precision. And here comes Cameron McLean. Gets into Shell 18 car. He rejoins the battle.
And they got out just ahead of Craig Lowndes by the looks of things. There you are.
Could well see this car in action in the Konica Series next year, in fact, because Dean Canto has put his clamps on this car. So they'll run in the FAI 1000 at Bathurst, Canto's paint scheme. So there's going to be some quality cars coming into the Konica V8 Supercar Championship next year. Here's the battle for the lead, though. Craig Lowndes hovering behind the Valvoline Cummins car. I've been watching that gap. It moves anywhere between half a second out to 7 or 8 tenths of a second. And that's all it's been. Lowndes just shadowing the Valvoline Cummins machine.
Mick Donohue's car is off the track. Tyler Mecklin, his co-driver. We'll wait and see, but what a battle. It is in fact out now. Safety car, so Bargwanna gets a little bit of a rest, but Lowndes will be right on his tail when they get fast again.
We're going to try and do a quick pit stop and get you out.
That's the Holden Racing team, we believe, talking to Craig Lowndes, so he'll probably come in and take advantage of the fact that you
can stay in, obviously, and you'll run to the flag.
He's going to stay.
Okay.
Oh, there we are. There's the stricken car.
Young Tyler Mecklin.
That's your bias for full tanks again, if you've adjusted it.
Set your bias for full tanks. Robbie Starr gives in the message. Going to take on a full tank of fuel.
No problem.
Adjust his anti-roll bars to set the car up again for that full tank, and he's going to make the run to the flag.
Well, this is going to be interesting. What will the Valvoline Cummins team do in response to that?
That's interesting. We understood that Mark Scaife was going to take the final stint. Now Craig Lowndes is going to take it right through. Safety car on the circuit.
I think you're going to have to drive straight through car 2's pit.
Well, it seems like Lowndes has come straight in.
Barry Sheen will be on the spot when he comes in. 60 km/h strict pit lane speed limit. Over to you, Baz.
Yeah, he's just coming down now. Everything looks all right. I'm just getting out of the way so I don't get anyone's way. Nice, clean old windscreen there. And Craig's not getting out because he hasn't. You have to do a minimum of 54 laps, so he hasn't done that. And he said he's quite comfortable in the car and can just keep going, no problem. I had a word with Scaife, and they said Scaife said everything's going according to plan, and they just really wanted to try and get past. Try and get past. Yeah, try and get past Bargwanna. So we've got the Kelly Preddy car in here now, and it's just a normal sort of 300 lap service and clean the windscreen, and no, can't see any dramas. They're spraying water in the radiator there because she might be running a bit hot. The rear right's does it? No. Smooth as silk.
I believe the Valvoline Cummins car is going to come in pretty soon too. You'd expect that under a safety car period.
Just get George to look.
As they get back to racing conditions, the Aussie Mail 500 comes back to life. Jason Bargwanna, Greg Murphy right behind him in the Kmart Commodore.
Hard to believe the Pertec car pulled in the pits.
Right on the when they went back to green flag.
So that's a costly move for Simon Wills and the Pertec team. Let's go to Gary.
Jason Bargwanna continues to lead. Here's the Pertec 4, which peeled off as the cars went back to green flag racing conditions. That's going to lose them a lot of track position.
That is Garth Tander, the 23-year-old from Western Australia, set to take over from Jason Bargwanna, our race leader. And this is going to be a costly stop, as Mark mentioned, under race conditions, going to cost them a lot of track position.
Here's Larry Perkins fighting hard with Craig Lowndes. So Lowndes has actually just overtaken Perkins to take third place back. So Lowndes continuing showing good race speed. The Holden Racing Team Commodore, a 1:12.35. Here comes the Valvoline Cummins car. Our race leader peels off into pit lane, and What a rotten turn of luck so far for this team.
And I can tell you, it feels like you're walking up pit lane doing 60k.
Yeah, but just imagine, isn't it amazing, Dick? Like they could have had a safety car period a few laps later when Bargwanna could step out, and it could have been completely different. Barry's on the spot.
Yeah, I am. It's just like the coppers, isn't it? There's never one when you want one. It's Boggs is taking out his short wheelbase kit out to sea there and getting Garth tied in. Let's say, as you were saying, it's just such a waste. It seems such a waste of time, you know, when there's a safety car out, everything's fine. But, you know, what have you lost? You lost at least, what, 35, 40 seconds, I suppose. And that's some you win, some you lose.
Yeah, that's how races are won and lost. There is an enormous amount of tactics involved, but you can also need a play of luck. And it didn't work with the Valvoline Cummins team today.
We are 2 hours and 39 minutes into the Aussie Mail 500. There's the clock in the top left of your screen. Matthew White and Terry Wahoon doing a fantastic job. Konica V8 Lights campaigners. Here's our race leader, Craig Lowndes.
Well, things have really played into their hands so far, Dick.
They certainly have. And they're going to reap the benefits of this, I can assure you. But it still remains to be seen whether they can get to the end on fuel.
Tander's cutting some quick laps back there. He's just on a 1:12.13 to Lowndes 1:12.4. But he's going to need a safety car to get himself back into contention here. It's a lot further down the road than he'd want to be. He's going to have to drive the car pretty hard if he's going to have any chance of closing this gap. Craig Lowndes ideally positioned at the moment. This car is now 10 seconds behind the Holden Racing Team car, but he's just about to pit to really open the field up.
Here he goes now.
Yep, swings the Shell Helix forward into pit lane. Paul Radisich on standby. Battle for 5th and 6th position. Stephen Richards in the Kmart Commodore, and just in behind him, the enforcer, Russell Ingall. Lap 136 of 161, the Aussie Mail 500.
Craig Lowndes continues to lead 18.8 seconds up the road from his teammate Todd Kelly. Cards continue to fall the way they are at the moment. You're going to have an HRT 1-2 in the Aussie Mail 500. John Bower currently third on the road. Garth Tander, as a result of all those pit stops, has fought his way back to 4th position, and he can go right through the finish. Stephen Richards just behind him. Russell Ingall, Craig Baird in 7th. Glenn Seaton, we just saw him rejoin. He's in 8th. Paul Radisich right behind the FTR car in 9th.
Look at the enforcer having a look left and right here.
Russell's having a good look in. Steve had to go to the inside there because of the corner speed down through turn 2, and Russell cuts through the inside now. So they'll run down to turn 4. Oh no, he's just slotted him behind him, but he can't get any closer than that, I don't think.
Stephen will have the inside run for this middle section, or the tiny left-hander. Russell locks up that front left.
Glenn Seaton currently the fastest man on the track. He's just on a 1:11.44 on lap 131. Just getting back into the car. So putting in some quick times in the FTR Falcon, but they're down the order at the moment in 8th. A lot of work to do. All this field will be praying for a safety car.
This is John Bower being caught rapidly by Garth Tander for 3rd position, the Caterpillar Ford. Under attack from the 23-year-old from Western Australia.
Tander's been storming through.
He's got a little bit of paper there on the radio. I don't think it's probably enough to bring up the water temperature too much.
Well,
Still plenty of air getting in there.
Oh, what's going on here? Car 2 in trouble.
It's got smoke coming out the back there. That's the end of that.
They have parked it. Now,
that's bad luck for those guys.
You can see Jeff Greck, the Holden Racing Team manager's looking at his car, sitting there
in dismay
at the end of the pit lane, smoke pouring from it. What's happened there, Murph?
Is that smoke or steam? That looks like...
Could be steam.
That's an engine then, obviously, because I think that's coming out the exhaust.
Look at that.
Which means it's got water going into the engine. So that's steam, it's not smoke.
Yeah, there's no smoke there, you're right.
So they come across the start-finish line. This time there will be 4 laps remaining in the Aussie Mail 500. Stephen Richards sits in 3rd. You can see the enforcer there, up to around 230 kilometres an hour they get at the end of the straight there. The enforcer in 4th. Stephen Richards in 3rd. Here is Craig Lowndes.
Just checking our point situation at the moment. If they finish the way they are, Scaife will be on 1,296 points. Tander will be on 1107. So the championship's still alive going into Sandown. But the HRT looking pretty commanding at the moment.
Gee, Tander is getting a little sideways on the exit of turn 3 there. As we count down towards the finish, he'd be hearing absolutely everything in that car, I would imagine.
Well, no one got the strategy as good as these guys. They just blitzed them. Fantastic calling Lowndes in as soon as that safety car came out. Got him, left him in the car. There was no driver change to do. Despite all the hullabaloo about this man, his relationship with the Holden Racing team and where he's going in 2001, he's certainly done the business for them today.
What a fantastic career this guy has had. Started out in kart racing at 9 years of age. He's campaigned successfully in Formula Ford, had a brief stint in Formula 3000 overseas, has won 3 Shell Championship Series for this team. And of course, teamed up with Greg Murphy to win Bathurst in 1996. And now another endurance trophy awaits Craig Lowndes.
The critical thing is this keeps Mark Scaife at the head of the Shell Championship Series battle. As we've got 2 rounds remaining to go to Sandown. Another sprint round before we go to Bathurst. And this battle between Valvoline Cummins and Holden Racing team looks like it's going right down to the wire.
We talked about it at the top of the show. The engineering might and the organisational nous of the Holden Racing team, coupled with 2 of the best drivers in the business, Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes. They win the Aussie Male 500 in Queensland. Well done, and well done to the Holden Racing team. There's Mark Scaife, helping his bid in terms of winning the 2000 Shell Championship Series. Fantastic performance, Jeff Greg.
Not a last track burnouts either, mate. They set up the screen at those driver streets.
Just getting a warning there not to do any post-race burnouts for the fans. But a marvellous performance. Here's Garth Tander. He's hanging on to 2nd position. Stephen Richards there in 3rd. And the Enforcer are battling all the way to the finish line. A marvellous performance for the minor placings on the podium. Tander and Bargwana, 2 years in a row. They have finished in 2nd position. Stephen Richards finishes in 3rd with Greg Murphy.
You fight all weekend not only to set the car up, to find tenths of seconds, even hundredths to gain grid position. And of course, in pit lane, you can lose the bulk of that in one poor stop. And that is, to an extent, the story of the Queensland Aussie Male 500 and, in fact, the Shell Championship. As we look at the points now, Scaife by 189 from Tander. Bearing in mind there are another 120 points maximum available at Sandown and 240 at Bathurst for the FAI 1000. So it is still open, Barry Sheen. However, Noble Holden Racing team are in good shape.
It's a place that's steeped in Australian motorsport history and tradition, and perhaps today it'll go down in the record books as the venue where the 2000 Shell Series champion will be crowned. Here is the Sandown layout, 3.1 k's in length and characterised by those 2 huge straights, one on the front and one down the back. It is round 12 of the 13-round Shell Championship Series. We get set for race 1. Lowndes on pole. He'll start beside Paul Radicic, his best qualifying effort of the year. Stephen Ellery, a sensational performance alongside Longhurst. The 3rd row of the grid, Scaife and Ingle, Road 4, Mark Larkham and Garth Tander. Scaife and Tander will be battling it out as we get set to go racing in round 12 of the Shell Championship Series. Who'll get the launch off the line? Away! Lowndes gets a good start, so too does Radicic. Ellery bogs down a little bit and that allows Longhurst to launch his way through. Look at Russell Ingle carving up through the field as well. Side by side as they head towards turn 1 for the first time. Who's got the edge? Is it the Rat or is it Lowndes? The Rat is going to try and muscle Lowndes out here, but Lowndes comes back through.
Well, the big test here will be this Shell Falcon horsepower. We saw them enormous speed in a straight line at Mount Panorama last year. The real test is going to be up the back straight on the first time. Let's see how Radicic gets out of this turn onto the back straight and unleashes all that power. Look at Stephen Ellery in 3rd position, Scaife up to 4th, Tony Longhurst up to 5th. Cars really muscling each other. Look at the paint swapping as they come out of the Eastern Nats turn up the back straight for the first time. Aussie Male Falcon. What a shame. He's gone right to the back of the pack.
He's having a disastrous year.
Oh, look at
Rodney
this.
Forbes, 2. Looks like contact on the opening lap. Might have a cut tyre there. He's going to try and limp it back to the pits.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
good save.
Contact there between the Optus Commodore,
Steve Reed it was,
and Anthony Trapp, the Toll Express car. Oh, there's been some contact there too. He's got smoke puffing off that right front wheel. It's all happening at Sandown Park this afternoon. Meanwhile, back at the front, here's the battle. Craig Lowndes in 1st place, Paul Radicic in 2nd. Stephen Ellery holding on to that qualifying position of 3rd. He's doing a good job too. Mark Scaife right up his rear bumper. Tony Longhurst in 5th, and it's Ingle, Tander, Larkham, Jason Bargwana, Greg Murphy and the Kmart Commodore in there too. Larry Perkins just outside the top 10.
We've had a change of position there. Radicic has managed to get around Craig Lowndes by the looks of things, so something's happened in that back series of corners. Radicic is the new leader from Lowndes. In 3rd position, Stephen Ellery.
just holding out Mark Scaife in the second of the Holden Racing Team Commodore. So a position change up front. Could Radicic be the man now to take his third race win of the season?
Well, the Ford fans have gone mad up in the grandstand. I think our man alongside here, Glenn Seaton's a little bit excited too. The Fords are flying around here, aren't they, Glenn?
Yeah, it's great to see. It's been a struggle most of the year, but it's good to see the Fords up there this weekend, and Paul will do the job. There's no doubt he's a very talented driver. He's done a lot of overseas racing, and he'll be able to handle the pressure, there's no doubt. And the speed of those DJR cars in a straight line, especially at a circuit like this, will really show up.
Look at the crowd erupt as the Rat leads him across the line. Once again, Lowndes back to second place. Stephen Ellery defending hard from Mark Scaife, who's really on a charge. Tony Longhurst in there too. Big field of cars stream through. Murphy, trouble there for Murphy.
What's going on there? That looked really quite weird. It's
look, he just went offline.
Yeah, I don't know. Either went offline and got on the marbles or something, but it looked like...
It seemed to happen so effortlessly, didn't it? Just sort of rolled off.
There's a tremendous battle, enormous pressure here for Stephen Ellery. He's got the championship leader behind him, sniffing around his rear bumper, looking for the slightest error so he can get past. But so far, Stephen Ellery has not put a foot wrong.
Radicic was 0.2 of a second quicker than Lowndes here that last lap, so he's oh, look at this.
Ellery ran a little wide on that corner and up the ripple strip. That's allowed Scaife to come through. But he'll get muscle wide.
Yeah, wrong side though.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here too, Scaife. Keep in mind the championship situation. He's got to outscore Garth Tander by 51 points if he's going to take the championship. He's well positioned here though. Has a sniff up the inside. They're going to go side by side past the grandstand. 250 kilometres an hour on the approach. But look at the speed of that super cheap car in a straight line. Mark Scaife is going to have to get a particularly good run out of a corner or wait for Ellery to make a mistake if he's going to get alongside. Could this be the day when Ford turned their fortunes around in 2000? Looking very strong at the moment. Paul Radicic been very fast through our corner. Oh, Scaife!
Yes,
Scaife got past.
Just took our eyes off it for a second. Scaife sniffing around the back of that bumper, applying enormous pressure to Stephen Ellery. And he's finally found a way past.
Well, Glenn is one of two special guests who'll be joining us this afternoon. The other is Paul Radicic's teammate for Bathurst, Jason Bright. But Radicic will take out race one in round 12 of the Shell Championship Series. A sensational effort. The Ford fans rejoice. Dick Johnson, speechless. And Craig Lowndes gets home in second position. Our championship leader, Mark Scaife. Valuable points for him third. Well, race two. Tony Longhurst will start from pole in this one. They reverse the top six. Garth Tander should be starting from pole position, but there has been a meeting between officials over that altercation with Russell Ingall. He's kept his points from race one, but he's been sent to the rear of the grid. Well, who'll get the bunch, or the jump, I should say here, the former teammates. Away they go, Ellery. Oh boy, bogs it down a little bit. Look at the launching by HRT. We've got someone stalled. That's Russell. That's Larry Perkins, yeah.
It's Larry. Oh, look
and
here, look.
Stephen Richards has made contact with Larry there.
Ripped the wheel off.
No, it's ripped the wheel off the car on the right. I can't quite see who it is.
I think it's one of the Kmart cars, Baz.
Yeah.
Hell of an impact there. They shuffled up toward the turn one.
Look at pull the Oh, that's
Stephen Johnson. So it's all happening in that opening turn. Stephen Johnson. Look at the damage here.
That.
Stephen Richards, goodness me. Bottom of the car scraping along the bitumen. He's going to try and limp it back to pit lane as Larry Perkins caught up in that start incident.
Bear in mind, that's a brand new car too, Mark.
Safety car is on the track. We've got a bit of wreckage around here. Yellow flags are waving. They'll slow the field down, bring the safety car out onto the track until they can sort out this mess and get back to racing.
Oh, what a shame. Larry debuted that car at Calder Park, I think it was.
Look at the damage here. Larry Perkins, just the rear wheel missing from the Castrol Commodore. Looks like that whole rear end has collapsed.
We're endeavouring to find out for you what has happened there. We hear Larry may have stalled in the Castrol Commodore. We'll try and get some sort of confirmation on that for you, and perhaps that was the catalyst that set that chain reaction off.
Left a big line of oil right down the main straight. Let's have a look at this again on the Shell Helix replay. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
But that impact was so hard. Look
and you see Larry's wheel. There it is there.
Look at the way the rear of the Castrol Commodore's collapsed.
We are underway and racing in race two. In round 12 of the Shell Championship Series, Stephen Ellery resumes control at the front of the field. We are being told at the moment there is a light sprinkling of rain happening in one part of the circuit, but it looks too dry for me at this point. So Ellery in the Super Cheap Autos Falcon leads the way.
Well, Longhurst gets a little bit wide coming out of Shell Mastercard turn. Craig Lowndes tries to capitalise down the outside of the Haviland Falcon through the S's toward Eastern Nats turn. Lowndes really attacking the curbs as he defends hard from Shell Helix driver Paul Radisich, the winner of Heat 1, as they thunder up the back straight once again. The Super Cheap Autos Falcon. Repeat of race 1 with Mark Scaife right behind him.
Someone else who's making a move too, just keeping an eye on the times for you. Paul Radisich has managed to get around Craig Lowndes. So Radisich is in 4th position behind Longhurst. There you can see this is a good battle between these guys. The Rat looking for an inside run on Longhurst, and he's got it. He has got it.
Yeah, he has been charging, hasn't he? That car's got so much speed today. Look at Lowndes trying to get up behind. Oh, it just leans on the back of the Caltex Falcon. Up over the curbs. Paul Radisich wants to get out of this fight. Look at Radisich. Look at him on the inside.
Oh, yeah. What about that for a move? Called him Houdini on that one.
Wasn't a huge amount of room inside there. Lowndes bounced the wheel up off the curbs.
Larkham's made good ground on that one as well, as now right in behind. You can see there in behind Lowndes. He opts for a different line as they work down the back straight along Repco Hill. John Bow coming for the run as well.
250 kilometres an hour across the top. Breathtaking stuff as they break. Tumble down the hill toward Dandenong Road. XR Falcon corner. So Craig Lowndes really got squeezed coming onto the back straight there. Cost him a lot of time. And everyone else was able to pounce. So Craig Lowndes under fire here. Paul Radisich has taken off. Past Mark Larkham was able to take advantage. Look at Greg Murphy getting squeezed by Paul Morris. They're all attacking here. Very, very difficult to pass. Look at the supercar racing.
In the background there too, Mark. Lights ablaze. I think you'll find that might be Garth Tander up to 14th position. Oh,
dear me. I think that might be a visit to... might be a visit to the old officials there, I would say.
Yeah, captured that one on video.
At the moment, Steve Ellery leading the way from Mark Scaife. Terrific performance from Ellery. Look at him as he rides the curves.
Greg Murphy coming in to serve his stop-go penalty. Gets the green, back out to the action. He's really been in the wars in Heat 2.
Tremendous performance from the young West Aussie, 23-year-old Garth Tander, who this season has been incredible. Led it early on, dropped back to 3rd position, recently wrestled that back and moved into 2nd in the series and is chasing Mark Scaife for the title. Well, that's a telling statistic, that one, 260 kilometres an hour. As John Bow brings you down the front straight at Sandown. Lock up from Stephen Ellery, the pressure on as we count down to the finish. Scaife is there, hounding him, the Rat, right on the back of this freight train up in front. 7 Fords in the top 10 at the moment. No wonder the Blue Oval Brigade are screaming here at Sandown.
Yeah. 8 in the top 12, if you look at it. That's incredible.
Well, this is the way V8 racing should be, isn't it? Ford and Holden evenly matched, going at it hammer and tong, door to door. This is absolute breathtaking stuff. Can he hold it together? Half a lap remaining for Stephen Ellery. Guides it out of there. Good
back marker.
Good departure from XR turn. He's got this final little switch back here to bring it onto the pit straight. He will bring home his first victory.
Looking good.
Shell Championship Series.
Hang in there, Stephen. He's had a good, clean run. The 26-year-old from the Gold Coast, Steve Ellery, breaks through for his first ever Shell Championship Series win. Well done to the team.
Mum can't believe it. I know his father, Bruce, the whole team have worked very, very hard, and they are a very proud mum and dad. Stephen Ellery can stand tall. He has beaten the best in the business.
Paul Radisich is the man who is perhaps best placed to do that at the moment, and he will start from pole position in this one alongside Stephen Ellery, who took his first ever win in the championship in race 2. Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes, the Red Barons on road 2, Larkham and Longhurst on road 3, and Bow and Crompton on the 4th row. Just about set to go in the final race of the day, round 12 of the Shell Championship Series. Away. Good start by Radisich. Ellery equal to the cause. Both the Red Barons jump out nicely. We go further back and it's the Caltex Hamilton machine of Tony Longhurst, but Larkham's got the better on him as they work towards turn 1 for the first time.
It's going to be interesting. Radisich, yes.
Beautiful run by Radisich up the inside. Stephen Ellery decides to go with him. They'll go side by side on a Shell Mastercard turn. Up toward the kick for the first time. 2 Holden Racing Team Commodores in between the 2 Fords. There's Mark Larkham in there in the Mitre 10 machine. Big field shuffling through Eastern Nats turn. Hopefully they can get through cleanly as they charge up the back straight for the first time.
Nick Donoghue muscling his way up there in the Ultra-Tune TDK Commodore. It's an idea of the points for you. After race 2 today, Paul Radisich on top on 72. Look how close things are between Lowndes, Scaife and Ellery. Tony Longhurst back there on 56 points.
with Mark Larkin. It's going to be a very interesting conclusion to this round. Can Radicic win the round? And how will it affect the championship between Tander?
Oh, look at this.
Look at this. Barguana busts his way through. Ingle comes through as well. Sideways.
Great shot there. Low down level. You can see all the action as they came through XR Balkan corner. Fortunately, John Faulkner gathered it up and got back into the battle.
By the looks of it, old Scafie's going to have a big lunge at Ellery in a minute, I think.
Yeah. Running out of... flashing his lights at him, so Ellery's... I guess Scaife feels Ellery perhaps holding him up.
Well, if these guys finish where they are, just keeping our eye on this tense championship battle, it'll be a 209-point difference between Mark Scaife and Garth Tander going into the FAI 1000, so the championship will still be alive. We're going to have a race within a race up there as we had last year, so it should be an absolute thriller on Mount Panorama in November.
Nervous Dick Johnson. Can the Rat bring it home? Certainly looks good at the moment.
This will be the first win for Ford since our commentator here this afternoon, Jason Bright. Last one at Hidden Valley in 1999. It's been a long drought. 19 wins straight for the VT Commodore. It's been a very, very tough couple of seasons for the Ford teams. And this will also be the first win for Dick Johnson Racing since John Bowe took victory at Winton in 1998. So how long are the droughts for some of these Ford teams? Maybe this is a sign of a comeback at last.
And perhaps this is an ominous sign of what's to come at Bathurst too, Mark. They had incredible speed up there last year in those DJR Fords. He is on course to bring the number 18 Shell Helix Falcon home and take the round win. He flashes the lights at the fans. He's on course to do that.
Absolute euphoria, you can imagine. The hard work at DJR, Warren Robb beavering away in the engine department. Dean Orr, he took over as team manager a couple of years ago. It's been a tough couple of seasons for DJR. This is the sweetest taste of all, victory. And the champagne on the podium at Shell Championship Series.
Ford fans rejoice because the drought is over, and so the drought is over for Dick Johnson Racing. Paul Radicic takes out the round here at Sandown. Well done. He took out race one and the final race of the day.
Well
There's
done,
Dick
Paul.
Johnson, elated and about time, he says.
Round we made. That was fantastic.
And the Rat's done it too. That is his first round victory in the Shell Championship Series. An awesome day for Stephen Ellery. And Mark Scaife coming in behind him there. Well, the Ford execs put up 10 grand for the first man to win a round for Ford this season, and they have done it. Well done to Dick Johnson Racing. The Ford boys are going to have to write the check. The revised point score, Mark Scaife on top, 209 points clear of Garth Tander. Glenn Seaton, a non-starter today. Craig Lowndes accordingly moves into third position. And it's Greg Murphy, Tony Longhurst, Russell Ingle and Stephen Richards inside the top 10.
There's been a week of pounding rain. Floods became mud, and eyes that normally focus on the road can't help but turn to the skies. Today, the first sight of sun and hope for a dry track.
What can I tell you about this circuit? Well, it is an extraordinary racing circuit. 6.2 kilometres in total length, and like no other track that we visit, it's got rise and fall, blind corners, ultra fast straights where we do 300 kilometres an hour, tight blind corners where we might do just 60 k's.